Hey beauties, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I do my brows as a redhead. So just a little disclaimer that this is not how I think redheads should do their eyebrows. This is just how I do my routine, and if you guys can pick up any tips and tricks from what I get on with in this video today, then I'm happy that I could help. So if you'd like to see how I do my eyebrows in this video, keep on watching. Okay, so as you can see, this is the result we would like to achieve. I understand that this style of brow is not everybody's flavor, but this is how I do my brows as a redhead, as I repeat again. Okay, so this is what we're working with. So I'm quite lucky in that I don't have a lot of hair to begin with, and you can see that on my brow. So the first step of what I do is whatever hair that I do have, I use a little spoolie to try and get it into any sort of a shape that I like. So I tend to brush it up and out of my eyes and then just have that tidy little arch that I've got going on there. I'm also really lucky in that I've never actually had my brows waxed or have to keep them tame at all the time, so yay me. Oh, this is very close. Okay, so the first thing I'm taking is this angled brush from Benefit. I really love this one in particular in that the bristles are short and very they're hard, so they give that really nice defined hair shape when I'm using my next product, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Pomade in the color Auburn, obviously, because I'm a redhead. Now, when I first had this guy, I used to find it really hard to use, and I feel like it is at first. So if you are a beginner, I'd recommend even just sticking with a powder or anything that is similar in the color of this pomade here. Because like I said, I found it really hard to work with in the beginning. So just taking a really light little amount of that pomade, I first start by going from underneath my arch, and I do really light stroking motions. Can we all see that? Okay. And I just follow the shape of my brow. I don't go in too far with the pomade. Okay, that's something to note. I then go 2/3 of the way in at the top and just trace lightly around the shape. So I kind of define the outside of the brow, kind of like a cartoonish character, but not too harsh, not so harsh that it looks like crazy. And then I create a nice soft line under the front here where I don't have a lot of hair, so it creates a bit of fullness at the front with the pomade. And then again, using light feathery stroking motions like this, I'm creating the brow hairs and filling in any gaps. So I'm just patting, wiping the excess off on the edge of the rim of the pomade glass container, and then I'm just lightly, in the way that the hair grows, creating those little brush hair motions. I'm creating them, like I'm making my brow become what it should be, or what it needs to be, or what it is not. So at the front of the brow, I tend to be very cautious, if I can say that, because I don't want it to look blocky or anything. I like it to look nice and feathered and light at the front, which I think gives the most natural effect of the brow. So I kind of start, if I've just applied it on my brush, I will define the end of the brow. I want to keep all that boldness toward the end, and anything I have left over is when I bring to the front and start molding the front of the brow like this. To anything excess, I don't want it to be full of pomade because it gives a really blocked look and it can be quite heavy. It's a really bold color. See how that just went on quite bold there? I'm going to brush that out, but just an example. So we just try and keep this to the end, and I just keep going until I'm satisfied with the fullness, with the shape, and with the definition of the brow. Just keep going. The final step that I do after I've just put everything toward the end of the tail of the brow is using the brush flat. I kind of define the bottom of the front of the brow a little bit, and I push any leftover product up to kind of create a faded, colored in brow at the front. Does that make sense? Because without hair there, it looks kind of funny. So I just kind of sit it at the bottom and just wiggle it slightly, and then just do upward stroking motions to get a bit of color and a bit of shape in the front of the brow. Okay, so now that I'm done with my pomade, whatever I have left over on this brush, I wipe off the excess on a paper towel. And the next product that I like to use is the Amy Jean Couture Brow Velvet. This one is absolutely trashed because I love it. The color I use in the Brow Velvet is called Light. And I just kind of load the brush a little bit up. I load it a little bit, that just does not make sense at all, and just tap off any excess. And again, I always start with the back end of the brow, not the front, because if you have a whole lot of product that you put at the front of the brow, it just looks, you're pretty much setting yourself up for failure, and we don't need that in our lives. It just makes it look too blocky, and I mean, if you like that, that's up to you, and go ahead and use that technique, because that's how you'll achieve that kind of look. But with this kind of brow, we want it to look natural. Well, this is what I prefer, particularly being a redhead, because I don't think very heavy brows suit fair skin. So grabbing that Brow Velvet on the brush, tapping off the excess, and just filling in any gaps that I found along the way that my pomade could not reach or did not fill. I also love the fact that the pomade is obviously more of a wet product, and the Brow Velvet really sticks to the pomade, so you get that lasting longevity and a bit more color impact as well with this technique. The next step I use is I just grab that pink spoolie again, and I just brush through the product so that I can see if I've missed any gaps in the brow hairs, and it also softens the effect if I've created something that's a bit too bold on the brow. And it also, yeah, shows me where I've missed any gaps, because I can see here I haven't done enough at the front, at the top, because it's quite, see how it's quite blocky and patchy up there. So I just grab my brow powder, not the pomade, because the pomade's already laid down, and then I just slightly define that part there using light brushing motions. Okay, these brows are looking like cousins, friends, sisters. And the final step that I do, and you can use any kind of brow setting gel, but I like to use one that's a little bit brown. I do prefer my brows a little bit more darker than probably your average redhead, if that makes sense, because I find that I have deeper features and I can carry off this brow, and because I have a heavy eye on tonight, I'm just making it look a little bit more together with the look. So I just pat off any excesses on the end of the brush here, and then I just lightly, again starting at the back end of the brow where you place the majority of the product, brushing the hair upwards, and this helps define the hair in the brow, making it look more hair-like and real, and it also sets the brow as well. So there you have it, my beauties. That is how I do my eyebrows on the daily. It is a daily routine, even though I've probably done them a little bit more darker. No, actually, I do them like that all the time. So that's my everyday eyebrow routine that I do as a redhead. If you liked the video, then please like, comment below and subscribe. And if you're a redhead, I'd love to know if there's any products that you're using currently on your brows that you just live for, that you just love. Share it with me, because I am looking to update my brow routine. Even though I do find it works for me, you've just got to keep it varied. I like that. So have a great week, day, whatever it is, and I'll catch you in my next one. Thanks, beauties. Bye. See ya.